Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanya Walter and I work at Obzervr. I'm very pleased today to be spending some time with Roman Pletnyov, who is the software engineer that's been working on our new assignment listing. There's been quite a few requests from our customers over the past few months to redo how we do assignment listing, to make it more flexible, to be able to add and remove columns. And that's what we've done. So Roman's poured heart and soul into this new feature, and we're very excited to see what he's going to present to us today. So welcome, Roman.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you. One of the requests that we had was to see all of the work in a dashboard, but to be able to see the columns, first of all, that I needed, because the columns that I require and the data on the dashboard is not necessarily the same as if I'm in fixed plant maintenance, a guy in production might require something else, or the safety team might require some different columns. So are you able to show me, as a first off, how we're now able to work differently with the column feature?
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's start with the fact that the columns you see here on the screen are fully customizable, as in you are free to add and remove the columns you want. So what I see here right now on the screen is just a default set of columns, but let's change that. We have this button here, which is a column chooser. And if I click that, I get essentially a bag of all the columns I have, which are not on the screen. So what I have here is what has been pulled out and put in here, but I can take the columns and I can put them back into the bag essentially. And then I will no longer be seeing that column. And just as taking out the columns, I can add the columns.
Yep.
So let's say I want to see a cancel date, and I can put it somewhere I want.
Yep.
And it's going to stay there.
And what I can see from what you're doing is it looks like I can move the columns, like I might want the cancel date at the end, and I might want the work location right up front.
Yes, absolutely. You can move the columns. If just like I was pulling them out and putting them back into the column chooser bag, I can hold them to a column and I can start dragging it to drop it into a new place, and it will stay there. So it's very nice.
Very useful.
And yes, another thing is, you see right now we have quite a few columns in here, so there is a horizontal scroll bar. So you might not like that, and if I know that I need just a few columns to fit them on the screen, then one extra thing that you can do when you have columns which fit into the screen, you can resize them. So this column, for instance, doesn't look very nice, so I don't need that. And maybe I have templates with very long names, so then I would want this template column to take more space.
Yes.
so that
Yes.
it doesn't wrap.
Perfect.
So that's what you can do. You can sort of rearrange them when you have just a few of them on the screen. And I think that's about it for the columns.
So the other thing with the way I see work is, tell me about this drag column header. What will happen if I drag something up there?
That is a quite advanced feature.
Yep.
Can we go through the other data manipulation features first before we go in there? Because it actually incorporates
a
all
lot
the other
more.
work.
Okay.
So let's start with something simple.
Yeah.
Let's start, let's say, with searching.
Yeah.
Here, you see this search box. It says search task ID or title. And so you see this task column here. And it has all these various identifiers. And let's say I start searching for something which I see in there.
Yep.
And
great.
My data will be shaped to only include what I've searched for. And you see that I have only one page of the results, because there's nothing else, nowhere to go. If I clear this, you can see I actually have 28 pages of assignments at the left bottom at 50 items per page.
Yes.
I can make it 25 items per page, then it's going to be twice the pages, obviously 56.
Yes.
But you see that if I'm filtering data, then there's less than one page of assignments which have 0, 8, 11 in their task identifiers.
Perfect.
So this is...
So a generic search on any of the work.
It's not super generic. It only takes into account task IDs and titles.
Yeah.
That's all. So that's just the basic search we have.
Perfect.
The next basic data shaping feature is sorting.
Yeah.
So you see right now from date column is highlighted, and there's this arrow pointing down. And well, what this means is that right now the data in this list, all the 28 pages, it's sorted by the from date, and it's sorted in the ascending order.
Mm-hmm.
If I left click the column, I can flip that arrow, and it will change the direction of the sorting.
Mm-hmm.
I can right click or long tap on a touch device, and I can remove that sorting.
Yes.
And I can also just click other columns which support sorting, which is most of the columns where it makes sense, like dates, statuses, and I just click around and change the way the data is presented on the screen, the order of all the assignments. Very nice, easily and nicely, quickly. That's another feature, data shaping, and we're almost ready to go to that drag column.
What are the three dots on the end there, Roman?
It's just an action column.
Okay.
Just like these are data columns, it's just an action column which always stays at the back here.
Okay.
Just like there is a column with checkboxes on the left where you could select assignments to perform multi-assignment actions, bulk actions.
Okay.
There is this action column where you can do something with a selected assignment.
Based on its status or its current status, right?
Based on its status, yes. And if we're not thinking about these actions, if you only want to change the status, because most of these right now here, they're status changing actions. So this is an assignment, and I can complete it, I can put on hold, I can cancel it. And if it were, let's say, completed assignment, then I would be able to finalize it uncompleted.
Yep.
And you can do it here.
So there's some
as well, you can just go here, and you can see that when I'm moving my mouse over, the status is here. It highlights it as a button, and if I click this, I can just do this.
There you go.
So this might be easier, but you can just do it here as well as all the other actions we have available.
Very flexible. I didn't know about that. Very nice. Good.
Yes, and if we're talking about actions, well, let's veer off into the multi-item actions. So you see these checkboxes here. And so if I select 2 assignments, then all the actions you had, or at least right now, almost all the actions you had there in the row action column, you can do it in here, but you have to remember that this takes into account the statuses of the selected items. And so you have one assigned action, one assigned assignment, and 2 completed, and so there's not much I can do with them at the same time. But if it, let's say, were all of the completed, then I would be able to finalize them, and the other way around for assigned actions.
So that's that bulk complete, that ability to bulk complete or bulk finalize, etc.
Yes, right, assign them.
Yep.
And yes, I could click this. This, you see the number 50? This will select all the items on the page. If I go to another page, you'll see that there's still 50 items selected, but I could add 2 of these, for instance. And I go back, it's still 52. So I go across pages as I please.
I see.
And I select all the assignments I need, and then I do something with them.
Perfect. What if I want to just find all of the completed items or just things for my team? Let's say I'm in the fixed plan team. How do I find things just relevant to my team or a specific status, etc.?
Yes, so now we're coming to the next data shaping feature, which is...
Sorry, tell me if I'm going the wrong way, but that's good. Thank you. Thank you for keeping up.
Right way. So I'll just pull out the team column just to see my teams. And now we come into filtering. And so there's quite a few features relevant to filtering. Let's start with the basics. So one of the basic options you have for filtering data just like you would search here, but only by 2 columns, you have this row here, which is a filter row.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that for each column, there's something slightly different in here.
Yeah.
And so let's say I want to filter by team. One of the ways to do it, using the filter row, I would click here, and I would start typing. I would say, let's say, mobile.
Yeah.
And then it would filter down to the team names, which start with mobile, and you would see that there are 2 pages of such teams.
Yeah.
And you would also notice that now at the bottom left corner, you see this expression.
Yeah.
And this expression, as we explore this worklist further, you will see that it includes all the filters I have currently applied in one readable form.
Yeah. Can I
So
click
right
on
now-
that? Can I click on that? Or I can?
You can click on that.
Okay.
We'll come to that.
Okay, sorry.
Let's first figure out the filtering row. So, as I said, this will filter for mobile, for teams starting with mobile. But if you hover here, you will see that there are
Options.
there are options. Yes, and the first option is the default version starts with, which is what we've been using. But then I can say, well, I want an exact match.
Which
So-
might be more
So
complicated.
then there's going to be nothing until I type out the exact team name.
Yeah.
And I can also go here and just reset it like this.
Okay.
Another way to reset it would be to go to the right bottom corner and click the clear button.
Okay, perfect.
And the difference between resetting here and resetting there would be that if I have multiple filters at the same time, let's say I also want to filter by to date, and I want something which, well, the assignments where to date is less than this, and at the same time they have to be from the mobile team. So you will see here in this expression, it's going to be spelled out that team starts with mobile and to date is less than whenever I select it. And so if I hit reset in here, I will just reset this column filter, right? I will just get rid of that, but I will still have all my other filters.
Yeah.
If I go here, then I will essentially clear out all of this expression, which is everything. So
Start from
the
beginning.
list will remove to the pristine condition.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the filtering features, the filter row. And you saw that depending on the column type, the data type, the operations you have here, they're different.
Yep.
The way you interact with it is slightly different. So let's say for statuses, it's just going to be a list.
Nice.
Statuses, and this is another quick way to filter by status. You just click this, hold.
Or
and
open.
Yes, or all of them. Well, all of them is the default.
Yeah. Because if I'm a supervisor, I'll look for all the opens in the morning, and see what I need to. Yeah, good.
So you can do that, and you can put it the other way, which in this case might not be particularly helpful. You can say everything except the open.
Oh yeah.
So then
Oh
going to be the other. So this is one of the filtering features, the filter row. The second feature, which we slightly touched already, is the filter builder. So when we have a filter here, we notice that expression, which aggregates all the filters you had and which you can clear. But if you click here, you see this hand cursor. You'll have this dialog pop up where you have a powerful builder where you can just craft the filter you want.
Yep.
So right now it says that there's just one line, team starts with mobile.
Yeah.
And then it also says, hey, you can add more filters, but you can remove that, or you can add more lines, more filter lines. And all those lines are going to be aggregated with add.
Gotcha.
So for example, I hit plus and I say add condition. And let's say I want a status equals progress.
Yep.
And I also want to say, for some advanced stuff, I can actually want a group. And that group is going to be an OR group. And inside the OR group, I'll have a condition, let's say team is any of these teams. Or let's say template is any of these two. And so then I have this complex expression, which can be 10 times as long if you so choose, which says that I want to see all the assignments where team starts with mobile and status equals in progress, or these two conditions. If I hit OK, it's going to be a really long condition, and because it doesn't make much sense, we probably don't have anything.
You have to take the or out. Mobile.
Well, if I go to all, there's nothing in progress right now.
Ah, yes, there you go.
So we just need to choose something else. But importantly, you see here,
yes,
as I go along the filter row and I change my filters here, these changes too. And so it was initially in progress.
Yes.
And when I did this changed to in progress.
Yeah.
If I change it here, it's going to be changed there.
Yeah.
Having said that, the filter builder is more powerful because the operations you have in here, let's say for dates, they're limited to what you can just type in here. Let's say greater than a date, for a date, or in a date range. That's all you have here. But if you go here to the filter builder and you say, hey, I want my from date, you have many more operations. So in addition to those you saw in the filter row, you have some custom filters. So is today or tomorrow, is yesterday or today. You have some rolling windows.
Perfect.
Let's say it's in the next number of days, and let's say 10. Or rather, let's simplify this to make sure we actually get some data. Let's say in the past number of days, 30. So now I'm supposed to see all the assignments which are in the past 30 days.
Yeah. I guess this will be very useful.
And if you come here in a week, that's going to be a different date because 30 days in the past from a week into the future is going to be a different range.
That's your rolling.
So, yes, that's my rolling window here.
And I guess this past 7 days, future 7 days, that's really useful for our shift team. So people who work on shifts or supervisors who have crews that are in for a number of days, that will be really relevant to them because they just want to know the set work that they're looking at for their shift. So really useful.
Yes.
Great.
So that was the second filtering feature, I guess, or the third, depending on how we count. There's yet another filtering feature in here, or another angle at simplifying data manipulation. You see for some columns here, in the column headers, you have this funnel icon.
Yeah.
So what this means is that if a column has a limited set of possible values, it's not a free form. Let's say a task ID, there can be anything in here.
Yeah.
But for statuses, there's just a limited set of statuses, just as well as you have a fixed number of teams, which are well defined. And so for those columns, there's another way to filter this. Is you click that funnel, you have an itemized list where you can say, actually, I just want to quickly see only completed and finalized and canceled, and I say, okay.
Yeah.
You'll see it will still work with the filter builder, but you've done that in a different way, in a quicker way, an easier way. And so it might be more interesting for a team. If I click teams and I start scrolling down, I say, I want to see only origin and June. And boom, I get that. But this can still be achieved through the filter builder. It's just you would have to click more, and it might not be as intuitive.
Yep. Perfect.
So this is all for filtering, I think. And now we can come back to this drag a column here to group by that column. So
group by header. Yeah.
For the columns which we just discussed, which are essentially just sets of predefined values like team or status, we can group by those columns. And what that means is, let's say I drag status here, my list will become grouped.
Yeah.
So you will see all the items you have inside their relevant status names. Now, if I don't have some statuses, I won't see them here. You only see real life data here.
Yeah.
And so let's say I can open this, and then it says continues on the next page, and we see that we have 2 pages of assignments. I can go to page 2.
Yeah.
And now we can go back to the features we discussed before, let's say these multi-select.
Mm-hmm.
So we have shaped the data in some way right now. So we only see a subset according to our filters or to our groups. And I want to select something here.
Yep.
No, that's not a very good example. It's not a very good example, but because selection covers the group.
That's
grouping
okay.
bar.
Choose a new one.
Let's choose another example. Okay, let's ungroup this. And so let's say we're filtering something and we only want to see
On hold. There's lots of on hold.
simple filter, a whole assignment, and then I select two of these. But then I want to remove that filtering. You see, I still retain my selected items,
Mm-hmm.
even though right now they're somewhere, I don't know, maybe on page 25 or somewhere else. And then I do something else. I say, okay, I don't know, give me something else entirely, or maybe give me a range, if I so desire. And I have 3 pages. I still retain my selection, and I can select something in here right now, which is maybe easily on the first page, and then I reset my filters. I still retain this selection, which is very nice. So you might not be seeing something on the screen, but it's still here. Yeah. You still can do something with it. So what that means is that even if something is not on screen, you're holding on to it, you can still do something with it.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
If I go back to grouping now, that also stays in effect when I'm grouping. It's just that the panel gets covered, so it's not very useful. So if I group by status here, you see we have this sorting arrow, just like we have here. What this will do, if I click the status header, which is now which has rounded shape corners now, you'll see the direction of the status will flip. One thing you can do when grouping, just like in the main view, you can change the direction. And you still have this funnel here, so you can say, actually, I want to only see these two. And it will work the same way it would work in your basic view. It will just restrict this.
So that group by is just a different way of shaping the data, as you say, that you're not seeing the list, you're now only seeing them in that specific, it could be team, I guess. So if you look just at the mobile team, in this instance, it's status.
It's a quick and easy way to only see what you want. It's not super useful on its own when you're grouping by just one column or one level.
Can you have more than one group by? Like, can you have status and team?
Yes, and this is where its power lies. So you can actually keep dragging and dropping columns in here. Okay. So I'll add a team.
Okay.
And I would think that actually it makes sense to first group by team.
Yes.
And then let's say by work location and then by status.
Yeah.
So to me, this makes some sense. And then what I would see that I have my teams, but there are too many of them.
Yes, I just want to be the mobile maintenance possibly and fixed plant maintenance. Yeah. Mobile. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
That's fine. Yeah.
And so then I will see at the second group level all my work locations. And then as a third group level, I will see all the statuses. And so this way, again, it's a powerful data shaping feature. I say, where's my mobile maintenance team? Work location CR02, what's on hold still today? And I get to see it. And you could achieve the same filtering capabilities by just building out filters here in the filter row or here in the filter builder. That would be a more involved process. Whereas this, you just drag and drop columns which you want here and you just reorder them. And it's so much easier. And it's a real powerful feature.
And it's very quick. Doesn't take any time. It was very quick.
Yes, it doesn't take any time. I can drag them around. I can say, okay, so the first level is going to be sorted in ascending order, but the second level is going to be the descending order.
Yeah.
And I can flip it around. And it doesn't take much time, as you see. We're doing this in real time. I'm just clicking these things.
Yep.
The spinner is here for less than a second. So it's interactive.
Perfect.
You don't have to wait for 10 minutes to get your data in the way you want.
Looks perfect. I think we're almost out of time, but I really appreciate you running me through that, Roman. I did play with it a little bit a few days ago, but you've really helped me to understand a lot more of the features, particularly this group by in the header. It's a very powerful feature and it's really quick. So thank you for that. I hope everyone that's watching has enjoyed that demonstration. We will run one more very specific to our supervisor group, really just honing in on the things that they do, but that is a good run over of that new feature that Roman's built. So thank you, Roman.